Well, it's a long road, Highway 49, and there's a whole lot of miles lying ahead and behind. I'm on my way and I'm running out of time. When I get back home, I wonder who I'll see. Won't be no yellow ribbon tied around the tree. Nobody's gonna be there waiting for me. Long road back where I'm from, 700 Sundays in the twilight zone. I'm a prisoner, condemned to roam. Long road back, it'll be so strange to see the same people shackled by the same old chains. And it's a long road back home. Well, it is taking all I've got not to turn this car around. You know I wouldn't even mind should it break on down. Leave me on the highway, 20 miles from town. When I see that exit sign, maybe I'll pass it by. Got a wanderlust I need to satisfy. Spinning my wheels on my intoxicating ride. Long road back where I'm from, 700 Sundays in the twilight zone. I'm a prisoner, held in the wrong. Long road back, it'll be so strange to find the same people shackled by the same old chains. And it's a long road. Could it be a fantasy that I'm even alive? Maybe I took a turn in the night, cross over to the other side. We live as we dream as we die. And it's a long road back where I'm from, 700 Sundays in the twilight zone. I'm a prisoner, condemned to roam. Long road back, it'll be so strange to find the same people shackled by the same old chains. And it's a long road. Here I go down that long road alone.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of First Takes. I'm Michelle Mayo. Musician Beth McKee is a mix of all the places she's settled, from Mississippi, where she learned the blues, to the music scenes of Austin, New Orleans, and Orlando. Beth's sound is quintessentially Southern. Beth's Funky Time Band includes her husband Juan Perez on drums, Jerry Willem on bass, and Grant Payton on guitar. In addition to performing and recording with the band, Beth is also the founder of Swamp Sisters, an all-female songwriting circle, and they have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for the Second Harvest Food Bank. Please sit back and enjoy Beth McKee and her Funky Time Band.
Early Monday morning, already out of bed, I feel like singing the melody in my head. First time in a long time, letting down my guard. A little bit of light is shining way out in the dark. Things that I've lived through made it hard for me to see. The good things come to you and pain as a remedy. What happened to derail me a faulty start. This time I'll get it right. Get the horse before the cart. 'Cause it feels like I'm on the verge. Right on the edge of believing again. Ready to trust like I never did. Like Noah stepping off the ark. I believe I'm on the verge of a hopeful heart. It ain't like life is perfect or too good to be true. I can't wait for blessings to come down out of the blue. I should just enjoy myself, what I have for now. No more wasting time hanging around this house. 'Cause it feels like the car's in the driveway and the tank is full of gas. Raining on the sidewalk, I wanna jump and make a splash. Driving down to Casadega, make the lady read my cards. First I'll pick that marigold from what used to be my yard. 'Cause it feels like right on the edge, I'm believing again. Ready to trust like I never did. Like Noah stepping off the ark. I believe I'm on the verge of a hopeful heart. Right on the edge of believing again. Ready to trust like I never did. Like Noah stepping off the ark. I believe I'm on the verge of a hopeful heart. Yeah. Right on the edge.
Tell me about the members of your band.
Well, the longest bearing member is my husband, Juan Perez, who's well known around Orlando, Winter Park, College Park. He's been playing here, been part of this music scene for many decades. And on the bass, we have Jerry Wilhelm, who actually goes back to high school days with Juan.
Oh.
So it's like a rhythm section that's literally been playing together for maybe 40 years. And then the baby
Yeah.
on guitar is Grant Payton. He's like 25 years old. So.
And how long has he been playing with you?
And Grant's been playing with us probably between 4 to 5 years now. So he's
Yeah,
a long-term member too.
that's great.
I really enjoy playing with those guys.
The acoustic-looking
Upright?
travel bass, like
Yeah.
that was a really cool-looking instrument. Tell me a little bit. What do you know about it?
I don't know much about it because I think Jerry secured it since we've been all kind of hunkering
It's
down
a
at
new
home.
instrument
So
for
I think
him?
it's a new toy
Okay.
for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do think it was nice to hear him play
It
it.
sounded great.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
to me too.
Must travel well.
And he's obviously been working on it.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
He had his intonation just right.
New Orleans to Jackson, 12-hour train ride, way too short a time to ease back into life. No palm trees swaying, there's no music on the corner, just an old Baptist church with a graveyard by her side. Lord, it seems so long ago we lingered over cocktails. We could feel the laughter, smoke hung in the air. Everything was simple then, so uncomplicated. Now it's just a smell in our clothes and in our hair. Don't ever think about it, put you in the past. Songs we've sung and tears we've read. Ain't it funny how a train will bring you back to sit around and weave these pretty memories in your head. The Poncha train is cold, but not as cold as the oysters we had at Casamento's early Friday night. The clink of a beer glass, the wink of a waitress, the promise of a weekend slowly turning right. Don't ever think about it, put you in the past. Songs we've sung and tears we've read. Ain't it funny how a train will bring you back to sit around and weave these pretty memories in your head. As we rode by Mendenhall, I recall a friend who's buried there. Seemed he was the one, wanted the most to live. An old crow on a fence post watches the train go by like a honeysuckle vine. Life has these little twists. Don't ever think about it, put you in the past. Songs we've sung and tears we've read. Ain't it funny how a train will bring you back to sit around, weave these pretty memories in your head. You just sit around and weave these pretty memories in your head.
All right, so you started writing tunes with lyrics, you'd say, in your mid-20s. When did you first start getting out there and, making money as an artist, as a singer-songwriter?
As a singer-songwriter, well, I kind of had a lucky break.
Oh, good.
In that I joined a band. Well, I had moved to Austin, Texas, and was living there, playing music, barely getting by, and got a phone call from a friend who played in Jimmy Buffett's band. And his name was Fingers Taylor, and Fingers was Jimmy's harmonica player. Ooh. And Fingers and I were friends from old blues days back in Jackson, Mississippi, where I grew up. And so Mr. Buffett had given Fingers the okay to put together an all-female blues band to back him up on, to back Fingers up as an opening act for Jimmy's summer tour. So Fingers called and asked if I would play keyboards for that tour, and I did. And was writing a little bit then, but mostly then just kind of singing background vocals and trying to blend in. I was a total Jethro Bodine. I'm like, I went from, playing $75 a night gigs to, being in huge amphitheaters with union people flying everywhere. And I just was like, I had no idea what I was doing. But came home from that and moved to New Orleans to join an all-female country Cajun band that was called Evangeline. And within a month of joining that band, Jimmy Buffett signed us to his record label. And we were able to, that's when I started really writing songs. When we had a record deal through MCA Nashville, and we were suddenly going to have, an avenue for somewhere for songs to be heard, then I started taking a little more interest in writing.
Yeah,
I had kind of been bluesy until that point.
Did Jimmy Buffett encourage you to specifically to write your tunes? Did he say, I like what you do? Like, was there any encouragement there from?
Yes, well, actually, a funny thing is that when I realized, and with some of the other girls in the band was in existence before I joined it.
Okay.
So when I joined it, they had already been one or two of them had been writing some of the material for the band, and I was like, oh, okay, I want to do this. And so we signed with Jimmy and did an album pretty quick, and I didn't have any of my songs on that because we just did it really right away. And then we went on tour with him the following summer to be his opening act because we'd had so much fun when I was in the other all-girls blues band. I was like, hey, tell them we'll sign the record deal, but only if we can open for your summer shed tour. And we went back out, and that summer I started writing more in earnest. And I wrote a song called Elvis of the Night. And it was kind of a country-sounding song about a woman who's a diehard Elvis fan. And there's a lyric about her living on Mobile Bay. Yeah. And it was totally designed to appeal to Jimmy Buffett. So that he would choose, because we were picking the songs for the next record. And and so I slipped it to his road manager, a little cassette.
Of course, yes.
I'm like, and the road manager, and sure enough, came back, and it was like, Jimmy likes Elvis of the Night. So we did wind up, and that was kind of the encouragement. So I guess it did.
Live by the code, don't listen to cool. You know the drill, you follow the rules. Only one network to give you the news, reverberating your views in your echo chamber. Stick to your guns like a bottle of glue, building walls with misquoted truths, wearing your opinions like an old pair of shoes. You got holes in your soul, but you won't let go. Who'd I let you all the answers? Shall we consider to win. You love to gloat. You laugh a lot, but only at your own jokes. You may be the big wheel, but where are your spokes? Roll it on out in the sun, 'cause you ain't fooling no one. Could I let you all the answers? Shall we consider your reasoning flawed? What if you find out at the reckoning the other side had it right? The other side had it right. They were right all It would be lovely if we all agreed, but airing differences enhances the breeze. I'll give you a chance to challenge my creed, then you gotta listen to me. Let's work it out like Socrates. Could I let you all the answers? Shall we consider your reasoning flawed? What if you find out at the reckoning the other side had it right? The other side had it right. Yeah, the other side had it right. Oh, the other side had it right. They were right.
All right, well, tell me about Swamp Sisters.
Okay, Swamp Sisters was begun just as a little grassroots community back in 2010 when I started touring around behind an album that I had released. And noticed that I was running into all these really cool women everywhere I was going, whether they were music fans or venue operators or other musicians or promoters or reporters or press, whatever. And I just thought it would be really cool if we could kind of network a little bit.
Okay,
And Facebook was kind of catching on.
that's true.
And so I had learned about group pages, and I threw up a group page and said, hey, this is just, a spot for us to come together. If you need maybe you need a realtor in Savannah, and maybe you need a good recipe in New Orleans, whatever, just we're all in touch. And it really caught on, and a lot of expatriate women that are on the great Northwest love being Swamp Sisters, and even in Europe and Asia too.
Really?
So I was like, this is really cool, but wouldn't it be nice if we could sometimes meet in person too?
Okay.
And I wanted to organize a way for us, and a reason for us in different markets, maybe more here where I live, to get together. And so my years in New Orleans had taught me about a party concept that the Creole musicians had come up with back in the early 1900s called a la-la.
Okay,
And
what's
a
that?
la-la is a party, a house party, giant house party, where all the musicians gather and all the friends come and dance, and everybody just chips in what they are able for some kind of community cause.
Okay.
I think back in those days there were probably some doctor bills that were paid, or maybe, electricity or whatever. And so I really liked that idea, and I thought that would be a good way for us to come together to present a la-la. So we started presenting la-las, and have always featured or raised either awareness and or funds for community organizations.
What are some that you've raised
Well,
money
the
for?
biggest and the most consistent partner on our la-las on the philanthropic side, it has been Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida. And I think they do wonderful work in our community. I'm so grateful for all that they do, for how
Yeah.
many, and their wonderful system for getting as much food out per dollar donated. So, we've raised, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years for Second Harvest Food Bank to feed kids over the summer months. That's kind of been the focus of our...
And you think they're an efficient organization, I guess is what you're saying.
Yes, they can take, for every dollar donated, they can generate 4 meals or $10 worth of food. So they just have wonderful systems for distribution, and I really think it's a wonderful organization. Yeah.
Great.
She has a feeling fall is coming, closes the door and tries to unwind. Yesterday caught her without a warning. She learned her lesson already this time. Once you survive the worst that can happen, there's no disaster that you can't take on. But everyday problems leave her all rattled, wondering where her courage has flown. But she has right now, and love wraps like covers around her, makes her feel better somehow. As hard as she works at keeping out the cold, always turns her world around. She has right now, so come on right now. Day brings potential, new beginnings, a long list of loose ends and things to be done. Right on his heels and makes so familiar, blocks all the light, right back to square one. Come on right now. There's a shadow that looms in the darkness, and it waits to catch you unguarded and consume you. Come on right now. Love wrapped like ribbon around her, make her feel better somehow. As hard as she works at keeping out the cold. Come on right now. She needs to see you. She needs to know you're right there. Come on right now. Ooh. Come on right now. Come on right now.
Do you feel specifically connected to, you really love the poetry, it takes you back to a certain time in your life, or a song that was particularly inspired during a certain time of your life, or anything? Any specific songs that you would want to talk about?
Well,
Maybe
I think one of the more personal songs, there's a couple of songs that I feel really personally about. And one of those is Long Road Back, which talks about, it's kind of you can never go back home, but you have to go back home.
Yes.
So that's what it's about. And it means, it kind of says a lot about how I feel about going home and about, some of the legacies of growing up in Jackson, Mississippi, good, bad, and ugly.
Sure.
And so that really means an awful lot to me. And as a matter of fact, I have a friend follower who is a professor, and I think I don't think it's a songwriting. No, it's of writing, some kind of writing class. Yeah. And she told me that she was using that song, Long Road Back, as part of an assignment for her students.
She likes the poetry. She likes the lyrics.
Yeah, she's from Arkansas, so she gets it too. So.
Ah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Day after day on the highway, I witness things I don't want to see. A skinny dog standing on the roadside, an old man, no shoes on his feet. My mama taught me well to know right from wrong. Left me a conscience, won't leave me alone. Well, all I want to do is get back home. I hear it calling to me. I can't believe what I read in the papers. The same news every day. So much hunger, neighbors hating neighbors. Who brought us up to act this way? Well, I know I wasn't born to be no politician. I'll go down, help out at the mission. Maybe I'm trying to make him the line. Tell him what's been on my mind. Reach out your hand, sons and daughters. Get together, trouble the water. We may be calm before it gets done, but revival gonna come. Oh yes it is. Da, da, da. Da, da, da. So much to do, many need helping. This ain't no time to roll with the tide. What's the use watching and waiting? Stand up, child, and speak your mind. Well, a pebble makes a ripple that gets it started. Get on out and grow a seed on the garden. My daddy always said, you reap what you sow. Cultivate what you want to grow. Reach out your hand, sons and daughters. Get together, trouble the waters. sweet Sadie. I've searched everywhere. She never called me at a bed, never combed my hair. Not out in the kitchen, down by the chicken coop. She ain't making biscuits or shining daddy's boots. Last night she tucked me in, singing sweet and low songs of chariots. Then she sang about a train, everybody get on board. Then look up in the sky and follow the drinking gourd. We will gather up down at Mercy Point. We will walk on the water. Said to Moses promises there'll be tribulation, but our faith will carry us to Canaan. I dreamed I was a butterfly riding on a wagon wheel, and I was a blackbird flying out across the field. And I saw Sadie in the dark walking on the river bend. She said, I'm headed to Jerusalem, headed to Jerusalem, headed to Jerusalem, headed to Jerusalem. I'll miss my sweet Sadie. I wish she'd taken me. Without her, I'm an orphan. She's my family tree. But I will sing her song, and they'll be my reminder to carry on until I'm grown, and then I'm gonna find her. And we will gather up down at Mercy Point. We're gonna walk on the water. Said the Moses promises there'll be tribulation, but our faith will carry us to Canaan. Carry me home to freedom. Carry me home. Me there. And I'm headed to Jerusalem. I'm headed to Jerusalem. I'm headed to Jerusalem. I am unraveled, my lines are frayed. Came ungrounded and drifted away. I lost my compass, I came undone. I was flying into the sun. And I tell you where I have been, I did not follow no particular plan. sell kisses at the bus stop. What else can I do but languish and pine? Who else can I talk to in the middle of the dark? What else can I do if I didn't have you? I am unable to speak my mind, but I'm unwilling to leave you behind. I hope you wait, and I hope you care. I hope that I'm gonna find you there. I am on my way back home, on my way back home. I am on my way home. What else can I do but sell kisses at the bus stop? What else can I do but languish and pine? Who else can I talk to in the middle of a dark night? What else can I do if I didn't have you?
Thanks for watching. Please join us next week for another episode of First Takes. I'm Michelle Mayo.
Not tonight, Josephine. Got a lot to do. Got a river full of trouble down in Waterloo. I know your heart was there on some romance. I don't mean to be mean, but not tonight, not tonight, Josephine. I hate for my job to come between us. Life is hard when you're a tactical genius. So hang on to your language charms, 'cause tomorrow I'll be right back in your arms. But not tonight, Josephine. Got a lot to do. In a river full of trouble down in Waterloo. Your heart was set on some romance. I don't mean to be mean, but not tonight, not tonight, Josephine. I've never been one for making excuses, but if I could negotiate this little bitty truce, will set me juice, eat cherry parfaits. Yeah, we won't come home for 100 days. Not tonight. Well, Duke and the boys, they wanna carry on. I'm gonna wrap it up before too long. Grab some wine, I'll tell you what. You and me can celebrate the coup d'etat, but not tonight, Josephine. Got a lot to do, and a river full of trouble down in Waterloo. Your heart was set on some romance. I don't mean to be mean, but not tonight. No, not tonight.